What's going on out there, y'all? I'm back with another volume of Welcome to the Franchise here. Back with volume 32, episode 32. Just here to tap in about the whole All-Star weekend fallout. We already know what the talk has been about that recently, leading up to it, during the weekend, during the games and everything like that. And of course, a lot of people are definitely going to be getting into it all week. So what I want to do is tap into that right now and get straight into it and just talk about a little bit what I observed from my lens about the whole All-Star weekend, and then just talk about a little bit about, not a little bit, probably a lot about what we didn't like to see, at least what I didn't like to see from my eyes. So might get into a lot in this one right here. So let me go ahead and start it off from what I first observed from the whole weekend. Starting with the 3-point shootout contest, which I said in a previous video that that's what I was most excited for. I thought was probably going to be the best thing to see throughout the weekend. But surprisingly, that shit was a bit of a flop to me. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? This motherfucker, Buddy Hield, who been on a nasty cold streak the last few games, catching his stats, hitting like 1-3 or no threes and shit. Then he come out of nowhere in the first round and take the whole shit with like 27 points. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, Tyler Hero being the winner of the whole shit. I didn't even think he was gonna make it past the first round. And Dame missed getting in the second round by one shot. Jalen Brunson the same as well. So I'm just like, what the fuck? And then when you see the championship round between the both of them, and then now Buddy Hield goes back to normal shit, back to reality, and he bummed up hard. He didn't make like no fucking shots. And then I think they said the score was he still almost could have won, even though his first few racks he went like 0-7 or some shit like that. And then Tyler Hero, I just didn't like his performance in the first round. Like, I get it, he just a streaky dude, he just a streaky shooter and shit. I don't really see him as like a sharp shooter. He makes a lot of threes, but he'll have a game where he'll make like 4 or 5 threes, and the next game he'll make like none or one, or have like 12 points. So him winning it kind of surprised me. I mean, good work on his part and shit, but I thought I was gonna see some shit like, at least Norman Powell, Dame and Jalen Brunson or someone else in there, or Kay Cunningham. Well, Kay Cunningham's more of a scorer, so I wasn't really surprised that he didn't do as well. But I was looking to see something like that. So it was surprising to me, a bit of a flop. That shit was not really that fun to watch. The skills challenge and shit, like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? I mean, first of all, I feel like the Cavs win every single year. Whoever they have in there, whoever's playing, if they got Darius Garland and Mobley, or if they got Mobley and someone else now, it was Mobley and Mitchell. I just feel like for the past, few years, and like I said, I haven't really paid attention to the NBA All-Star Weekend as recently. You catch little highlights here and there, or maybe it's just on in the background while you on your phone, or you at a bar party and whatever. So you kind of see bits and pieces, but I feel like the Cavs players always win this challenge. But the other thing about that was just some bullshit. It was just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, really? Like the Wemby and CP3 thing, trying to buck the system or whatever, finesse the system, do whatever type of shit they was trying to do with their strategy, because you're just going against the clock, I guess. So they just was like, fuck it. If all we got to do is beat the clock, then whatever, let's try and beat the time. We don't really have to make everything, because it's not like I don't think that if they don't make the pass through the target, or if they miss all of their shots, I don't think they get negated anymore. Or I feel like when this first came out, it took their score down a bit. When the skills challenge first came out, I loved it, and I loved it for a long time too, while they were still doing it. But I guess it's kind of getting crazy or just goofy, and they don't really care. Because even when I saw the Cavs doing their thing and they were winning, I felt like it was too easy. Like, and Mitchell was going through the whole shit like he didn't even care. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this shit easy as hell. Like, it didn't seem as difficult, I guess, as the days when it first came out in those first few years when I was really tuned into it. And then you got this shit with CP3 and Wemby, and it's like, this is why motherfuckers don't want to watch the All-Star game weekend. When you do shit like this and you don't give a fuck, you just like, yo, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You take it as a joke. You know what I mean? So, and shit, this whole weekend to me it looked definitely like just a big ass joke and a big ass fucking circus. Nobody was really taking shit seriously except for a few people. And Wemby was kind of one of them, because then you seen the reaction when he got disqualified. It seemed like he was upset about that because he wanted to compete in it or whatever. But you do dumb shit like that, I don't know who I did was, but you do dumb shit like that, like, what you expect? And motherfuckers is not, nobody wants to watch that bullshit. So fuck going over all of that. Let's skip straight to the dunk contest, aka the MCCLUNG challenge. Select your challenger. It was basically just Steph Castle. So it was basically just a dunk off between Steph Castle and MCCLUNG. The other two guys, I knew they wasn't gonna do shit. We didn't know who they were like that. As far as a lot of people or the masses, didn't really see them how often is niggas paying attention to Bulls games and Milwaukee Bucks games like that, to be real? And then looking to watch those players and they pop out of nowhere and do dunks. They had no creativity. They had the Buzelis had some creativity, but a bad strategy. The other dude, he looked like he was just freestyling out there. He was just out there in the gym just fucking around. I knew both of them motherfuckers were gonna flop anyway. And like I said in the previous video, I was kind of rooting forward to see what Steph Castle was gonna do, because of course the favorite was MCCLUNG, and MCCLUNG, he earned that, and he been doing this thing and been consistent for 2 years now, and put on the show, basically saving the dunk contest, basically saving the whole All-Star weekend, because now it's not, oh, we all want to see the dunk contest. Now we all just want to see MCCLUNG. What the fuck this motherfucker gonna do next? So the dunk contest, shit, that shit was crazy. I'm just like, damn, from the first attempt all the way to his last attempt. His last attempt was really just to seal it, and that was still a great dunk too. But his first few attempts, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? This nigga laying this shit, this is crazy. It's like, I'm looking at it like, yo, this motherfucker don't care about losing his legs or getting hurt on his lower body or nothing. He don't give a fuck. But he pulled all them shits off. And the jump over the car shit, I was like, damn, he gonna do the same shit as Blake Griffin? Like, nah, you gotta do something different. Because even when I saw that, when that came out, I wasn't really all that impressed. I was like, okay, you jumped over a car, but you jumped over the hood of the car. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you should be able to do that with the vertical you got and being an NBA player and all that shit, whatever. But now, fast forward to present day, this motherfucker gonna jump over the car, grab the ball from his brother, and then do a reverse over, like really over the car, not just over the hood of the car, and do a reverse dunk at that. I'm like, hold up. Nah, this shit is fucking crazy. And then he just kept doing more shit. You jumping over Mobley. You jumping over 6 or 7 footers. You doing reverses, a reverse, and then dunking frontwards. Like, of course, MCCLUNG took that shit. But, we already know all the love and all the hype going to MCCLUNG is well deserved. Like, that shit was a really impressive dunk contest to see. I ain't gonna front. Even with the 2 basketball dunk, even though the second dude basically held the ball in the basket for him, but that's still hard to do physically. Like, you don't have none of the balls in your hand. Pause. You have none of them in your hands or whatever. You're not throwing it or whatever. So you're just going straight up while somebody's spinning on a hoverboard. You got to take that one, then dunk it with one hand, and then get your other hand to get the other ball and both dunk them in clean like that. That's still tough. That's still tough. But other than that, I do want to give the props and everything from what I seen from Stephon Castle. I mean, shit. You could tell, the only thing that kind of knocked him down, you could tell that he was nervous. He was just nervous and everything, but he still held it down. There was some dunks that if he would have landed on the first try, because of the nerves and everything like that, it would have been crazy. And they still were good. They still were good dunks. And I think that with him, he was just probably in the wrong time frame right now, like who you're going up against right now. This motherfucker been doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? He been doing this shit. This is what he's known for in the NBA. They only take him out of the G League to do this thing for this weekend and everything like that. So, not that he's gonna be a favorite. It's just the fact that this motherfucker, this all he do. This is what he prepares for probably most of his year outside of playing NBA G League games. outside of putting his work in there, right? So if Stephon Castle, I'll put it like this: if Stephon Castle was up against the two other motherfuckers that flopped and like someone else, he would have won this shit because he was doing some impressive shit. So, he don't got nothing to hang his head about or anything, and he should be proud. And honestly, he should really consider coming back next year. He should consider coming back doing this shit again and trying to take that shit because I was impressed. And I thought he was the only guy besides Matt McClung that I really knew and seen in game play, seen his athleticism and seen what he could possibly bring to the game, being a young player, being a rookie, and he didn't disappoint. So that was good to see. And then with that, with the whole dunk contest and shit, now you seen all these other stars. Now they want to chime in and shit. Years in the league, not a rookie no more. This now, I'm not saying you have to be a rookie or anything like that, but now you got them chiming in talking about, oh, let's do it next year. This shit got me inspired to do it next year. Ja Morant saying that shit like, yo, what's up, Zion and AG and Zach LaVine and shit. And then you got Giannis talking about, yo, if you do it, I'll do it type shit. I'm not beef for that. I'm not going for the head fake. I'm not going for the head fake for that shit. Cause to me, the reason why in years previously with players like, the Jazz and the Zions and all those other guys, the young guys that we've seen come through the league and not really, be in the dunk contest, so they're supposed to be the next upcoming stars or the next upcoming superstars, not do it because they got a low-key similar mindset as LeBron. Like, well, if that nigga ain't do it, then why I gotta do it? You know what I'm saying? He the GOAT. He the GOAT. They look at him. They're gonna de facto look at him as the GOAT of the generation, right? And they're like, well, fuck it. LeBron ain't do it. Niggas still give him respect. Niggas still love him and shit. Niggas talk about he better than Jordan. And Jordan did it and da-da-da. And you gotta understand, you're talking to younger cats that they never seen with their own eyes, seen players like, Jordan play and the players in that era or players before Michael play with their own eyes or shit like that. And I doubt, I'm not gonna front, I heavily doubt them motherfuckers is going on YouTube to even look at that shit. To look at players from the past that they inspired from. I heavily doubt they're doing that shit. They don't give a fuck. They getting paid, they doing their thing, they in the league now, it's their time now, they, you know what I'm saying, they getting big bags, getting money, doing some deals, getting hoes, all type of shit. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit in the past. So they only have who's in front of them right now that's older, which is LeBron. They're like, well, he ain't do it, I ain't gotta do it. So me, I'll just say this, I'm not falling for the head fake from these niggas. Like, they talking all this shit right now, tweeting and everything, because they just trying to, you know what I'm saying? They just trying to hop on the hype train of the moment for right now. Just doing the regular shit that everybody does these days, especially when you're already an established star or an established famous personality. You just hop on the hype train for the moment so you could get you could keep or get your social media relevance farming type shit. Like, you could keep or get it at the moment and everything like that because it's what everybody's talking about or doing. That's all that shit is. But for me, I gotta see the shit to believe it. That's what I'm on. I'm not on, oh, I believe it when I see it. Nah, fuck that. I gotta see the shit to believe it. Because even when niggas gonna talk about next year, oh yeah, they've been selected, and you see how motherfuckers is doing. They say they gonna do something, they gonna be there, they gonna play in this, they gonna play in that, and the last minute, oh nah, yo, my ankle hurt. Oh nah, my back hurt. Oh, what's the name? My coach told me, because we got a hot seed right now. He don't want me to get hurt because we got to finish out the playoff run. Or we the third seed. We trying to get the first. Or we the fifth seed. We trying to stack up with a better matchup and get to the fourth seed. Or some dumb shit like that. So I got to see the shit to believe it first. Or these niggas tweeting on this shit. And I seen recently, Levine responded back also and was just like, yo, I'll fuck around and come back. I mean, that motherfucker right there, though, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. I think that's the only motherfucker I believe because I think he would do it. I think the second time that he went back, I feel like I may be wrong on this. I may be remembering incorrectly, but I feel like he said, nah, I already won it. I don't need to do it again. And then he ended up doing it. And he killed in that shit, too, because he won it twice. You know what I mean? So I believe that motherfucker if he said he gonna do it. Although, I seen a funny ass tweet. Motherfucker said, "Yeah, you asking these niggas." Somebody say, "Yeah, Ja asking these niggas to be back in the dunk contest." Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. These niggas is like 30 now and shit. I'm like, that shit is type funny. But just cause they ain't they 30, they still got bounce. They still could dunk. It still be fun to see them. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of question like, okay, where's their creativity at on what they could actually pull off, what they would actually want to pull off like that to compete like that. But shit, these motherfuckers are professional athletes, man. They not the average 30-year-olds like that, you know what I mean? So let's see if they will pull it off. I wouldn't be mad if Aaron Gordon was like, man, fuck y'all niggas. I'm out of this shit. Y'all robbed me twice or robbed me once, and I got my ring already. I'm good. I'm proven. I'm solidified in here. So I wouldn't be mad if he didn't go back. But I believe if Zach LaVine actually really pulled up to that shit, I'll believe that shit. That's the only motherfucker I probably do believe right about now. Definitely not Ja. Not that motherfucker. Hell no. Because we seen that nigga renege on some shit before. And we seen him do dumb shit to get him in bad situations to be suspended before. Same thing with Zion. Seen that nigga renege on shit before. So I don't believe none of them niggas. The only niggas right now that got weight with me, I believe, is Zach LaVine. So shit, that's my take on that. But overall, I can't even call it dunk contest. Like I said, I'm sticking to the MCCLUNG challenge. The MCCLUNG challenge, it was fun to see. So I was actually entertained by that because all of them dunks was crazy. And besides one dunk, which was the first one, which was crazy as hell, he landed every dunk on the first fucking try. But still, shout out to Steph Castle though once again, because his dunks were crazy too. It's just if he landed more than on the first try, it would have been crazier. But they were still fun to see. He did his thing. Now to the All-Star game format. I mean, this shit was bullshit. We all know that. It was fucking bullshit. I mean, games up to 40, just 40. You're talking about the best players in the league, all in the All-Star game. All the best players in the fucking league. They all could get 40 every given night on both sides, East and the West. So what the fuck are you talking about? So then, MVP of the game finishes what? Between 9 and 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists or some shit, and they're the MVP. Like, you couldn't, and that's the thing too, is what I said before it started. I was like, yo, how do you even quantify or judge who's the MVP in all of this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, how? Because it's really not playing like to lead your team or really playing as an all-star. Everyone's just fucking around, just playing around together. Okay, here you go. You get 8 points there. You get 9 points there. Okay, that's already at 17. That's a little bit under half of what the damn total is to win. Okay, someone get 3 points here. Someone get 5 points there. And that's it. Basically, yeah, that's it. Then everyone else do whatever they want to do for their little dunks and highlights. And then imagine when you look back, and some of these players may be, I'm talking about the younger players that may be on a career trajectory to possibly be a Hall of Famer in the future, right? When you look back on it and you playing All-Star games like this, you're gonna fuck around and have to say your average in the All-Star game was only like between 5 and 9 points. What the fuck kind of shit is that? What the fuck kind of shit is that, man? And then it was like, did Brunson, Cunningham, Şengün, did they even fucking play? We saw them for like 2 minutes. Then it was a commercial break, and the commercial breaks was wild fucking long. Like, for what? It's only a 40-point game. We're not even getting to see as much basketball as we fucking want with this bullshit ass tournament shit, right? I'm like, yo, we didn't even really get to see them play. And I'll say this, as far as out of those guys I picked out, Cunningham and Brunson looked like they was really trying to play. And some of the other dudes that got more to playing time, they was playing too and everything a little bit. I'll get to that in a second. But Cunningham looked like he was like, yo, I'm trying to put on a show here. I'm trying to let motherfuckers know my name. Jalen Brunson looked like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm in this thing and I'm trying to do my thing a little bit, because I could tell a player like him has a mindset that, like, I'm probably not going to be in these as much as I would like to. I'm not going to have those opportunities like that all the time. especially with the franchise that he's on and everything too, and where he's at in his career. He got to try and do everything right now. So the urgency of the moment is more important to him, to the other guys that been there a bunch of times before. And that's the other thing too, is like, I don't think that it's fair for the guys, if you want to keep going with this format. I don't think it's fair to the guys that, they're making the All-Star debut. Like a Cunningham, I think this is his first All-Star game, right? It's not fair because, the masses don't really get to watch or want to watch Detroit games like that, but they keep seeing this guy Cunningham pop up on the stat line with crazy stats, or seeing him in highlights on NBA TV or on ESPN Top Plays, if they still even show that consistently. And they're like, damn, who the fuck is this dude? He in his first All-Star game, and he only plays 2 fucking minutes, hits 1 3, has one nice assist or one nice dunk, and that's it. Same thing with like a Jalen Williams. I think we seen him just catch an alley, and that was it. And that was probably that was like, you seen that, it's like, oh shit, niggas might really try and go off here and throw on a show. You seen only like 4 plays like that all night. But it's like, yo, when guys like that start coming in for their first couple All-Star appearances and shit, and they're only in the game for motherfucking 2 minutes, and you're like, yo, who he play for? Like, I gotta tap. You don't even get to see them no more. Like, what kind of shit is that? I think that's unfair. It's not entertaining. And for the guys that actually want to play and want to show out and show the world who they are and have their name out there and everything, they don't really get those opportunities, because of course they're gonna keep the KDs on the floor. Of course they're gonna keep the Steph Currys on the floor. Of course they're gonna keep the Dames on the floor. Of course they're gonna keep all the other guys from the other teams and everything on the floor that they want to see and shit. The Jokic is on the floor and all that shit. But it's like, where's the other guys that we want to see? Like Şengün, he got good footwork, he got good passing game, he can make make some nice little passes and shit too and everything. But we only saw him for like 2 minutes, So I think the whole format with this AAU tournament, the other pickup shit is bullshit. And from what I seen, niggas did really only start competing when the game started getting in the 20s. I saw a little bit of competing, a little bit of some good effort and shit. But like I said, it was only like 4 highlight plays, a little bit of competitiveness and all that, but you didn't really see much that was that entertaining like that. And I'm of the mind frame that it's like, yo, you gotta have a balance. There's a balance of showmanship for the fans, but a balance of also showing that you're competitive and you want to play to win the game. And with that point, I get into the Rising Stars, right? The Rising Stars situation with them being a part of this on Sunday in the game. Like, who the fuck were they really outside of Castle and Connect that we kind of know? Who the fuck were these niggas? So, what Draymond said, I kind of agree with what he said there on TNT. Like, it's ridiculous. Some bullshit. They ain't really deserve to be there. Did they deserve to be a part of the weekend? Maybe some of them, yeah. Maybe some of them. But even when I was watching those games on Friday night, some of those guys, I'm like, who the fuck are these niggas? Some of them, it was like, okay, I'm intrigued to see who this person is. But then they get in the game, they're only in there for 2 minutes, and then you don't see them. And then the championship game is only 25 points. I'm like, what the fuck? And this is what I seen, that made me think, why were these niggas even involved? Why were they even involved? You know what I'm saying? Because in the game on Friday with the Rising Stars and then the G League team, okay, y'all supposed to be a part of the All-Star weekend and make it entertaining or competitive and shit. I'm watching the game, I think it was the first game or the second game, but one of the games, I'm like, once they got to the 20s or right before the 20s, they started really balling, like really trying to ball out. I was like, oh shit, like this shit kind of fun to see and everything and all that. So I was like, that's what's up. But the other thing that was pissing me off was like, you got these G League niggas trying to come out there and they don't really stack up like that, but there's some of them that could kind of make, they showed effort. They was playing like they was still trying to fucking make a team. I'm seeing motherfuckers try to throw alley-oops. They not taking the alley. They coming down with the ball. doing a head fake, nobody's trying to block them, and then putting up a layup. Like, no, nigga, just go up, catch the shit, and fucking dunk it, yo. Like, niggas want to see some entertainment too. I seen a lot of that shit from that G League team. That shit was pissing me off. I'm like, just go up and catch the alley, nigga. Niggas, they really playing like they like, nah, I gotta play correct and make sure, cause I might get cut. This is not the G League right now. It's this fucking, and I get it. You probably want to be like, no, I need coaches to see I could get on a team. You know what I mean? And that's why, just real quick, my little sidebar here on this, I think they need to get rid of that G League shit. Just start a whole other fucking league. Don't attach it to the fucking NBA, because they bring these niggas up for 2 hours just to sit on the bench and then send them back. Stop getting them false hope. We're never going to see them niggas play like that. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying. I was seeing a bunch of bullshit like that. Niggas throwing alleys, not taking the alley, coming down, doing head fakes when no one's trying to block them. Niggas doing all type of little moves and stepping back, hitting threes and airballing, or hitting the front of the rim. And I'm not talking about hit the front of the rim where it bounces or where it bounces out for a long rebound. I'm talking about hit the front of the rim and the shit just went straight down, right underneath the basket type shit. I'm like, y'all niggas is not in the NBA, so you can't do that. So what makes you think that we want to see that shit? See you airballing fucking threes and shit, and missing threes on a step back. You not like that. That's why you in the fucking G League. That shit was not fun to see. Same thing for some of the niggas on them Rising Stars teams. Them niggas was trying to do that shit. No, y'all niggas need to be playing hard and going to the basket, taking it to the rack, trying to dunk, trying to do all type of crazy shit. You know, in the lane, in the paint, or some mid-range, cross a nigga up, make him fall down, mid-range, some shit. Because them motherfuckers was pissing me off with that shit, too. They wasn't doing it a lot, because they still were being competitive, taking it to the rag and all that sometimes. But when they was trying to shoot threes and do step backs and shoot threes are being contested, I'm like, y'all niggas is not like that. That's why y'all in this game. Y'all not even supposed to be a part of All-Star Weekend. We don't want to see y'all motherfuckers missing threes. Keontae George, we don't want to see you missing threes, bruh. Take your ass to the fucking rack or some shit, or cross a nigga up or some shit. But I seen a lot of that too from other teams. I'm like, yo, y'all motherfuckers is out here just missing threes and shit. We don't want to see that. And it felt like it was really forced. Like, they had to force it for All-Star Weekend to make us watch these Rising Star motherfuckers and G League niggas and shit like that, because of course they had to force it, because the leading generations have fucked up the whole shit so bad, suggesting this format and not competing and everything like that, that, you know, a little effort from the Rising Stars tournament, and then you have those games and everything, like, you gotta force it down there so that it make the motherfuckers be like, oh shit, on Sunday for the All-Star game, we can't lose to no G League team, or we can't lose to no Rising Stars team, or we can't make it look like it was interesting against the Rising Stars team. You know, because you seen it on Sunday when I think it was the Young OGs and one of the teams had to play the Rising Star team, and it was like the Rising Star motherfuckers was really trying to play. I seen Dalton Connect was actually trying hard, like, yo, fuck that. And you know, I think he understands, and he's an older player to the standards of whatever rookies and shit. He's 24, 23 or some shit like that. But he understands, like, yo, I almost got fucking traded and shit, and then these motherfuckers took me back, but I don't know if they want me back, but fuck it, like, I'm trying to play to let motherfuckers know I'm serious about this shit, just to stay in the fucking league. He probably don't even give a fuck about none of this All-Star shit, because he was playing like he was like, nah, I'm trying to shoot threes, and I'm trying to go to the rack a little bit, I'm trying to just compete. Him and Stephon Castle were really trying to do that, but they had to do this shit because the other niggas before them, the generations before them that are all-stars, that actually play in the league full-time as the stars of the league and shit, you know, they had to do that to kind of get them off their heels and be like, oh shit, we can't lose to, you know what I'm saying, we can't lose to a Rising Stars team and shit. But it was funny to me, and it was weird, because why the fuck am I seeing more Dalton Connect and Stephon Castle than Brunson? Which goes back to that point from earlier. Why? How does that happen on an All-Star weekend, on an All-Star game Sunday? You know what I mean? Why am I seeing that shit? Like, what the fuck was that about? You know, so this whole format, for me, is bullshit. Fuck the whole shit up. It's fucking the whole shit up. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have been watching and seen it and feel similar or exact same way. And then the next thing is, what the fuck was that last minute shit, that last minute call out shit from LeBron James? Like, what the fuck is that? And then another up and coming great in the game, Ant-Man, like no call, no show. No call, no show bullshit. What the fuck is that? And I know he talking about he don't want to be the face of the league and all of this shit and all that, and I want to get into that another time. But what is that about? Now you fucking it up even more. As bad as it already is, and then bringing in a new format and all this other shit. Now y'all motherfuckers do this shit, especially LeBron. Like, word. They already motherfuckers, and All-Star game weekend aside, motherfuckers already talking about niggas that don't be playing or they just take nights off when they want to and shit. When you think that LeBron's gonna play, you think that Ja's gonna play, you think that Kawhi's gonna play, or you think that Zion's gonna play, and at last minute it's like right before you get ready to put the game on, oh, they not playing and shit. That's already ruining the viewership, ruining the product of the game, ruining how people, you know what I'm saying, even want to get excited about the NBA. Then you do that shit on NBA All-Star fucking weekend. Like right before the whole bullshit tournament thing. At LeBron, the GOAT of the era, one of the leaders, the ambassador of the league and shit. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what? Bro, what was on your biscuit? Like, what the fuck is that? And then Ant-Man 2 is just like, I get it, whatever. You don't want to be the face of the league or some shit like that. So you don't want to show up. And for both of them, I think I know what that's about. I think I know why, right? For Ant-Man's perspective, I think it's this motherfucker is hell-bent on his own narrative. Like, I want to do this shit my way. I don't want to do it the way that it's always been done, in a quintessential way where I have to be the face and I got to be an ambassador and shit. And then I got to make it competitive in a non-competitive game where there's no stakes in it. Because I won't take that away from Ant-Man. When you see the way that he plays, he's competitive as fuck. And you can see he does play he really just plays to kill niggas, compete and kill niggas and dominate and shit. And play to win. So I think he's on that where it's just like, I'm not playing this shit that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever, it don't mean nothing. For it ain't no playoff game, ain't no championship, and it ain't no, obviously with the new format in a tournament, it ain't a game where I could go in there and shoot 10 threes if I want to and drop 40 or 50 on a nigga. So fuck this shit. So I think that's his perspective from it. Now for LeBron, I think that this goes to kind of similar where it's like points. I'll start with the first point. As points is like, yo, his average, in the All-Star game, his points is probably up there, probably at least in the top 5, if not top 10 of all time in the All-Star game, right? And the All-Star game still does mean something as far as in their resume or in the record books to these players and shit, getting selected, what your average is, who had the most, threes in one game, most assists in one game, most rebounds in one game, whatever. So he probably looking at it like, yo, we only playing a 40 and I'm going to play in this shit. So I can't even advance my historical stats up in points, rebounds, and assists, which is what I'm known for, basically being a walking triple-double and shit. I can advance that when they look back at this year in the All-Star game, and let's say I wanted to chill because I am 40, you know what I'm saying, and I'm the GOAT, but I should be able to chill. So I'll probably just chill and do my little 5 points and 6 assists. That's going to bring my average down all time when they look at it. And that's how he's looking at it because, LeBron just seemed like one of them type of dudes. Like, nah, it's about me. I got to make sure my shit look good, right? So he probably like, nah, fuck that. I can't even drop 40 in here if I wanted to. I can't even drop 10 assists in here if I really wanted to. 20 assists if I wanted to in this game. And then the next point I'm going to get to is I think this is one of those LeBron's fake calculated power moves for a future narrative down the line. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of those. There's some type of narrative that's gonna come down the line. You know, with this, it's a fake little calculated power move where he's like, well, I could see this in the future. The narrative be like, well, I didn't want to play in this format and everything like that, whatever, because it's not good for the league and people's average. The point, some bullshit he gonna say like that and be like, then he gonna be like, let's take it back to the traditional East and West, and then he gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna make it look like media wise or on his resume, looking at him wise like he the hero that brought back the East and West as an ambassador of the league. Like, he the one that brought it back and shit and should be lauded for that shit. Like, cause I feel like at times that's the way that motherfucker operates and shit. Cause he understands it. He's a brand, he a business, he's an ambassador and shit. And he always trying to be like first or be some type of pioneer, some type of fake type pioneer with shit and everything. So I could see that this move is probably something like that, to take it back to a traditional format of being like, nah, take it back to East and West, take it back to all four quarters. We're going to make it competitive. We're not just going to keep just shooting threes around and just doing whatever and not playing defense, because he want to come for an actual real valid MVP before he leaves and have some good averages as far as the All-Star game before he leaves, and make it mean something before he leaves. So I could see him doing some bullshit ass move like this for some, fake little narrative down the line. Cause honestly, it seemed like it, bro. Sore ankle. Come on, yo, come on with that bullshit. I'm pretty sure there was an All-Star game before. I can't remember which one, but I'm pretty sure there was an All-Star game where he had a sore ankle and he's like, nah, I'm playing in this shit. And I get it. That's when you were younger, you were older now and everything like that. But like, niggas ain't for that bullshit, man. We know you lying, man. And that roster spot could have been for, I know everybody's talking about Norman Powell, Norman Powell, Norman Powell. Yes, deservedly so. Roster spot could have been for motherfucking Jalen Green, or LaMelo or whoever else and shit that we actually really want to fucking see. And they probably would have put on a fucking show, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because you're in this dumbass fucking format anyway with this fucking 1st to 40 bullshit. I mean, Ant-Man just said, fuck it, fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all, that was it. But that will lead me to this, right? Whose fault do we think it is originally, and how did it get here? One of the things you kind of start with is players' mindsets, with different generations and different eras, and how the gameplay is being rewarded money wise and business wise, what's being rewarded and shit like that. It could change the mindset of different players or these different people, how they coming up into the game and shit. So it's like, if you give a nigga like Zion or give a nigga like Ja a supermax contract and they ain't even won a conference finals yet, then it's like, I don't really gotta do shit much. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if they only play 50% of the season, but they know they their best player, and it's like, well, they got all the leverage. Like, well, what y'all niggas gonna do without me for real? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all can't sell tickets without me. And you give them supermaxes or you give them everything they want and shit, then now they have a mindset of like, I don't have to really do shit for real, and I'm gonna get the bag, or they're gonna give me all the love like that anyway for my franchise. So it kind of changes the mindset of some of these players. And it's not just that, it's a little bit of the mindset from maybe players previously from them and coming up after them. With NIL and all this shit. You haven't done shit yet, but you're being lauded and rewarded like you won the championship, or you a championship type player, or you were the illest nigga and you really like that. So when you have that structure going on, not just in sports, but all over, you're being rewarded for not doing shit for real, getting the bag for not doing shit for real. It starts to grow a certain mindset in these motherfuckers, and that's why they don't care. They don't care about certain shit, right? And I'll go further with this. I think to me personally, everyone's involved. That shit's to blame. I'm gonna put it on all generations. From the young generation, like I said, being rewarded too early for bullshit, and they don't care. There's a lot of them that don't. I'm not saying all of them, but I would say there's a good amount of them that don't really care to be great like that. They get in the league as a lottery pick. They get on the team, they're the star or maybe a star, or they're just there, whatever, and you either don't hear about them ever again, or they're good for like 2 years, and then they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just get my points, and then some days I'm gonna rest, and some days I'm gonna play when I want to, some days I'm not, and they don't care, or they're gonna do shit kind of like LaMelo, where it's like he's a great player, but he doesn't play leading great championship winning type of basketball. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, yo, I'm just put my numbers up, make some highlight plays, all that shit, but I don't really give a fuck about like really dragging my team to greatness or being great like that. And that's a little bit unfair. It might be a little bit unfair to LaMelo there, because I think he's a good player and shit. And also, he's in fucking Charlotte, so that's saying something also, the way that organization has been running, putting rosters together and all that shit. But there's other players out there that we don't even remember their names since college or since the lotto, out there that they don't give a fuck about really being great. And then there's the other dudes that you look at, they're good, they're nice, and you see them on their teams, and you're like, damn, like, why are you not going to the next level, my nigga? And you could be the next new All-Star, next new face of the league or some shit like that. They don't care about that shit. Them motherfuckers want to be off the court and fucking with all these older these older joints and shit that got, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna get too much in that. Let me not get crazy with that. But you know what they doing out there. And they're not really focused. It doesn't seem like they're really focused on wanting to be great like that. And then it ties into the older, the older generations, with all the generation before them, with all the fucking team hopping and clicking up and everything before them, like all of that shit fucked it up too, because it's just like, well, I want to play with my friend. Well, I want to play with this nigga. Well, where we gonna click up here? All right, well, fuck it. All-Star game shouldn't be East and West now. Let's pick our own team so we can see how we fit together. So then next season, we're gonna play on the same team. And then I'm just ask my agent, you ask your agent, and it's like a whole bunch of fucking kids that be making their own plans without asking their parents for permission to have a fucking a party or some shit like that. That's really how they was operating for like within a 10-year span. Just doing whatever the fuck they want. And the NBA, the owners and the commissioner was just letting them do that shit. Just letting them do whatever the fuck they wanted. And that kind of fucked it up too. So you got that shit like, and they don't care. They're like, well, we don't care about the All-Star game because we know we're going to try and click up with our homies on the same team. Well, every night could be an All-Star game for us. But yes, we're going to be winners and we'll be in the history books as champions and shit like that. Or the clicking up and homie hopping all the time. So I think that is a factor that fucks it up and shit, because by the time the All-Star game comes, they don't care, because it's either the All-Star game is right after the trade deadline. So by that time, niggas is already plotting before that whole 2 weeks before, they plotting on how to click up with each other, get the trade that they want because they want out and all this other shit. So they're like, I don't give a fuck about an All-Star game. We about to have our own All-Star team in a week. I don't care about that shit. So they not going to play hard in the game. Niggas is in a weird way wild scared to get hurt if they want to go hard and shit. So they just jacking up threes from half court and not really doing shit. And then also I put in, it'll tie into the older generations before them. I think maybe a factor, because maybe with the way things were when they were playing in All-Star games, that they were playing in the league, it was it's still to this day really romanticized, and maybe it was a little bit too competitive, and niggas didn't like that. Niggas, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was too hard on them for the generation of like the LeBrons and the KDs and Steph Currys and all that. Maybe it was too hard on them and everything like that, because the older generation before then, they were like really competitive about this shit, really on about this shit, like the Kobe's and the Shaqs, like this shit, how he was talking and everything, and they don't like that shit. You could tell the generation of those players, they don't like that shit, especially niggas like with the mindset of like KDs and LeBrons and shit. They don't like that shit, So And then when you think about it in its totality with all the groups of players, all the ages, it's like, yo, these niggas always romanticizing Jordan and Magic and all these motherfuckers and all. We don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So what? Tired of hearing about it. And that just comes with being young. That's where they're at in their life, especially with making so much money and they know where they're at in life. You know, you're gonna have that ego and shit in your head. It's like, nobody give a fuck about these niggas. We here now, and just because they cared about it, don't mean we gotta care about it. Type shit. That's what they on. That's what that could be about and shit too. And then finally, you get to the NBA commissioner, man. You catering to the players a little bit too much. You let them do what they want to do. They don't want to play. Then it's fine. They play when they want to. Fine. And I don't know. At times I'm like, I don't know if he knows what he's doing. This Adam Silver guy, I don't know if he knows what he's fucking doing. But you catering a little bit too much to these players, letting them do whatever the fuck they want to do, letting them incorporate their ideas a little bit too much about what should be going on for the All-Star game. And now they don't want to do shit. You know, now they don't want to do shit at all. And now the blame is not just on you, it's on the players also. But now it's like, you know, you gave them all that power and you want to be their friend. Now you can't try and start to be like, yo, the parent now, because you've been trying to be their friend the whole time. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. So now you go, you know, if you try and be like, oh, Adam Silver can, I just don't think he got the backbone for that. I don't think he got no backbone. You know, but you let them motherfuckers pick the format and do shit how they want to, and it's terrible. They don't even try in it. They get what they wanted and they don't even try it. They don't even like it. You know? And then the last part here a little bit, I'll say, just a little bit, I'll say the fans. The fans also are a factor because, okay, you get the complaining or whatever. So 1 year, you get the complaint, yo, it's too, why are they playing defense in an All-Star game? It's too much defense. They're playing too much defense. Okay, so then the players hear that a little bit. So then, too much defense, right? Then 1 year, it's too many points, yo. They're scoring like 300 points, 200 points a game. Everyone's just jacking up threes. No one's playing defense. No, it's not competitive or whatever. Like, all right, so which one is it then? So you got too much defense. Because I remember those years, too. They were like, yo, it's too much defense in this shit, whatever. And I'm not going to lie. I was watching one time. I'm like, bro, why is niggas playing wild defense in the first and second quarter? Like, say that shit for like third and fourth quarter, right? And I'm not saying don't play no defense, but like, why y'all playing hard, crazy defense like that, right? But then it's also like, damn, there's too many fucking points. Niggas is just 3, no defense, 3, right? And then you got the voting and shit. You know, it's just like complaining about the voting is like, okay, everyone's a snub. And rightfully so. There's a lot of snubs out there in the last few years. It's like, damn, this motherfucker ain't make it. This motherfucker ain't make it. And then sometimes when that snub gets in the next year, they get in the game and you see why they shouldn't have made it because they didn't even do shit. They couldn't even shine in the bright lights or the moment and everything, or you didn't really want to see their game. Like, they like, yo, what the fuck? Why am I watching this motherfucker in the All-Star game, right? And then another thing I'll say on the fans is too many repeat vote getters just cause. It's just like, just because they have the household name, they're supposed to be in it. It's just like voting on autopilot. And I feel like that's kind of how James Harden got into the All-Star game this year. It's just like, just because we know his name and we might not know all the other younger niggas or the other niggas in other TV markets and shit. Yeah, James Harden, oh, yeah, he should be in there. You know, he always do his thing. But it's not like 2018 and 2017 no more. It's 2025. He's still James Harden, yeah, but it's like, do we want to see that? I mean, he's having a good year. But I feel like that's what fans do because I think at one point, right, the fan voting was a big emphasis or a big factor in who was getting in or not. And I started seeing after a while, it's just like, yo, it's the same motherfuckers that keep getting in here just because we know their name. They've been household years for like 5 to 10 years. But it's like, they not supposed to be an all-star. Just like the argument they had earlier a couple weeks ago with Steph. And like, if they talk about being a winning team and putting up these crazy numbers and performances and shit, that Steph shouldn't really be an all-star starter this year. But you just put him in there just like he won the MVP and shit because it's like a household name. They in Golden State. Yeah, you got to put him in there. You know, so that also. So it's like, what do y'all really want? I get it. You got attention span and everything. You know, you're trying to get into the younger demographic and the streamers involved. Social media is a factor. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the thing. Like, some of these fans and the NBA, that's what they were fucking up too with the NBA and the commissioner. You're trying to get the younger fans or the motherfuckers that streamers and motherfuckers that got social media influence. You're trying to get their fans involved. These younger motherfuckers, there's probably a good amount of those young motherfuckers that don't even give a fuck about sports, bro. They don't give a fuck about sports. They only know Mr. Beast because they know Mr. Beast from how they found him on YouTube, Instagram, or wherever the fuck. They only know about Drewski and Casanana and all these niggas because that's where they're at. They're not at NBA games. They're not always looking to watch sports and shit like. They probably don't give a fuck about no sport at all. But don't drag them into that shit because you're trying to. They don't give a fuck about basketball. On top of the fact that these motherfuckers, I guarantee, is probably calling motherfuckers like Ja and Zion or whatever old already because they've been in the league for like 5 years and shit, and they not even nowhere near 30 yet. You're trying to get those fans into it. So they're like, nah, they're old now, so I don't want to watch them and shit. And then when you try and drag them in to watching these type of games with players that are around their age and shit, it's the rising star motherfuckers who can't even fucking ball. And then on top of the fact that it ties into because you want to have James Harden in the All-Star game because he's been a household name for 10 plus years and all these other niggas, Kevin Durant and all that shit, because they've been household years for the last 10 plus years, right? Household names for the last 10 plus years. You're leaving off a spot for the niggas like LaMelo and Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham, who did make it, but he didn't get to play with because now you're in this format where he doesn't even get any playing time. And that's their age group. That's their age group that they probably want to see, or they probably didn't know that they wanted to see. But motherfuckers don't know them and shit because y'all not letting them get the shine or get into the All-Star game. You put on this rising star shit. There's some of these motherfuckers that we don't even fucking know, and G leagues that we don't fucking know. So it ain't how that work. You know, so that's where it's, to me, that's just my little opinion from what I observe a little bit. That's just me. I could be wrong, I could be crazy. I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm observing. It's just what I observe and shit. So which one, what do y'all really want as the fans, and then as the NBA organization and commissioner, what are y'all trying to do? Trying to get the younger demographic, getting this social media shit? Are you trying to give the shine to these new players, newer faces, get some newer faces, a newer wave, a new generation in there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta figure that shit out and that could be a step also in the right direction of making this shit better. But also, don't forget about keeping the main thing the main thing. Your main fans, your real fans, are niggas that actually love and watch basketball. Not all this other bullshit that's involved with it. And I'm not saying cut it all out, because it could still help, but why is that the main thing? Motherfuckers came to watch basketball, an all-star basketball fucking game with the best players that play ball, and not just play ball and bullshit around and just, no, play ball. Like, I want to see motherfuckers getting crossed up. I want to see dunks. I want to see alley-oops. I want to see one-on-one matchups in the game and shit. Like, I'm the best guard in the East. You the best guard in the West. Let's fucking run it. Basketball, that's what motherfuckers want to see. And not to know game 40 points. Not to know game 25. All the motherfuckers can get 25 to 40 points easy. They could get it in an all-star game if they really want to. So, that's just my thoughts, yo. How do you... But other than that, like I said, started off the shit, the whole all-star format is bullshit right now. And everybody's talking about it, and most people, it seems like they got similar or the same kind of thoughts, opinions, and ideas as me. and everything. So I'll wrap it up on that one. I know this was a big one, long one here, but it's a lot to talk about. There's gonna be some more throughout the week. I'm pretty sure before the season starts back up and everything. But that's gonna wrap this up right here for volume 32 of Welcome to the Franchise. If anyone got any comments, anything else they want to say about what they think, go ahead and drop that shit in there. Definitely gonna be tapping in to see what everyone else is talking about throughout the week and come back with some more takes. But other than that, y'all out there, be easy.